In this DD 2017 session, Blizzard Entertainment's Travis Day shares some of the hardest lessons learned about how reward systems can guide or harm player experience. In games like World of Warcraft and Diablo 3, Day discusses the role of rewards in video games, what they do for players, and the cost of using them. He also goes over some of the ways they have gone wrong for Blizzard games, and how Blizzard tried to address the problems rewards created. It was an insightful talk that's definitely still worth watching, so developers should not miss the opportunity to do so now that it's freely available on the official GD YouTube channel. In addition to this presentation, THEGDC Vault and its accompanying YouTube channel offers numerous other free videos, audio recordings, and slides from many of the recent game developers conference events. And the service offers even more members-only content for DD Vault subscribers. Those who purchased all-access passes to recent events, like DD Vault, already have full access to DD Vault, and interested parties can apply for the individual subscription via the DD Vault subscription page. Group subscriptions are also available. Game-related schools and development studios who sign up for DD Vault Studio subscriptions can receive access for their entire office or company by contacting staff via THEGDC Vault Group subscription page. Finally, current subscribers with access issues can contact DD Vault technical support. Gamasutra and DD are sibling organizations under parent company Informa. WonderSong casts players as a silly, lovable bard who aims to make the world a better place through song. Singing is the only way to interact with the people and puzzles of WonderSong, tasking players with using their voice to improve the lives of those they meet. Gamasutra had a chat with Greg Lobanoff, developer of the Excellence in Narrative nominated WonderSong, to talk about how the United States wide bike trip inspired the game's touching story, how clever characters could guide a narrative, and the power of finding a grain of positivity when all seems lost. I am Greg Lobanoff, and I created and directed WonderSong with the help of M. Halberstadt, who did audio, and Vladimir Bladere, who did music. I used to make card games and board games with markers and paper when I was a little kid. When I was a medium kid, I discovered Game Maker and started making dinky little games. Now, I am a big kid, but I am still using Game Maker to make dinky games. I had the idea for the main character when I was singing in the car while cruising down a highway. The larger story was loosely inspired by my experience living on my bicycle and riding across the United States of America in 2014 and 2015. What made it all click was when I came up with the music wheel interface though. I wanted to try turning a controller into an expressive musical instrument. It really was an honest expression of how I was feeling after my bike trip. I was seeing stories like Steven Universe that explored similar themes, but really started to notice the lack of those kinds of stories in games. So, when I set out to make a game with a story myself, it felt irresponsible to do anything that contributed more to the regular pile of violence and negativity. Game Maker Studio art was in Photoshop, audio was in Reaper, and music was Ableton. I made a fairly robust level editor and audio logic editor version inside the game as well. The music mechanic really opened a lot more doors than it closed. It was incredibly fun to come up with new situations and interactions that you'd have with singing. We built the game up piece by piece, completely designed around the main mechanic, and tried to keep it surprising and make people laugh. Sometimes it was hard to design the story, so that the player felt like they had relevant role when all they could do was sing. But that friction naturally became a real interesting ingredient in the story itself. I really love making characters. I had a lot of fun giving everyone a unique feeling, voice and personality, and I tried to stay sensitive to what they wanted to do and how they would react to things the player could do. I call it following through. Sometimes, as I was writing a random APA, I did realize they would want to have a pivotal role in the story, and the entire plot would change direction. Everything in the game is very sensitive and honest to what the characters want, so I think that really helps them feel real, and like they have a footprint in the story. Most games are built out of repeated tiles, props, and assets. But Wandersong is all about individual expression and unique situations. I wanted to draw every single screen from scratch, so you could feel even the most subtle emotional variations from scene to scene. With that in mind, I carefully designed the visual style of the game to make it as easy as possible to create new assets. The color design was built into my level editor, so I could focus on the colors and hone in on the feeling of each screen tool. The game is constantly asking the player to play with music and express themselves, so it's really important that they remain in an open and playful mood. The visual style is fast and loose and fun and goofy, and I think that helps make a space where that's possible. If the game felt beautiful, like it was taking itself too seriously, I think it would feel intimidating to try to play with. Instead, the raw, fun, uneven quality kind of feels like it's saying, have fun and just try. That closely reflects how we felt making it, too. I wanted to make a happy game for sad people. A lot of people are suffering right now, and it's really not enough to say, chin up. It's not that bad. The story had to understand how hard it is, and how horrible the world can feel, and then help find a grain of positive truth inside of that. Optimism through understanding, rather than ignorance. Zynga has agreed to purchase Empire's Puzzles developer Small Giant Games. The company will initially acquire 80% of Small Giant, a $560 million, comprised of $330 million in cash and $230 in unregistered Zynga common stock. It will then purchase the remaining 20% over the next 3 years at valuations based on specified profitability goals. For those unfamiliar with the name, Small Giant is the Helsinki-based mobile studio behind Empire's Puzzles, a match 3 battler that features additional elements like base building and social alliances. Since being launched 80 months ago, the game has repeatedly broken into the top 10 grossing charts in the App Store on Google Play, and has racked up over 26 million downloads. Zynga believes Empire's Puzzles has the ability to become a forever franchise, and claims the deal will also allow it to expand its own new game pipeline. We have been impressed by the quality and momentum of Empire's Puzzles, as we add another forever franchise into Zynga's portfolio, said company CEO Frank Schiebel. Small Giant has created an innovative game that delivers a unique player experience that engages over the long term. We are excited that Small Giant is joining Zynga as they enhance our next phase of growth. Hold On is a premium-priced mobile brick breaker built upon the joy found in a single moment in the genre, the time when the ball sneaks behind the blocks and just goes wild, bashing away at them as the player watches. It's a game that encourages players get their ball bouncing between blocks as often as possible, savoring the chaos as the balls slam about. Gamasutra spoke with Martin Grapefruit Johnson, developer of Hold On as well as other finely made indie games. like twofold incorporated and dream capsule, to talk about how the appeal of this moment shaped the game's play style, how the game's design helps the player find order and strategy within those wild bounces, and designing stages that would make this kind of moment happen often. In Jonathan Summers' per usual, it's a mishmash of ideas from all over. But the initial seed came from playing another game that uses a similar mechanic. Aim a stream of balls at a bunch of blocks, break them, do it again. That particular game felt like a missed opportunity, so I quickly threw together my own prototype to try out some ideas I had. There's this mysterious